This camp in the forest is what young Pakistani Raheel Zafar has called home for 3 months. He shares his homemade tent with 5 other men.
There is my sleeping bag. There's potato, chili, water, everything there put, onion. This is my food.
Every few days, aid organizations pass by. They distribute a bit of food and clothing to the approximately 30 men from Pakistan and Bangladesh living in this camp near Velika Kladuša, a small town in Bosnia-Herzegovina along the Croatian border. But beyond that, all other supplies are scarce, says Zafar, who often has to saw his own firewood. Temperatures frequently drop below 0 at this time of year. But he and the others want to hold out in the cold and mud until their next attempt to cross the border into Croatia and enter the EU.
I want to go, Germany, Frankfurt. I want to go there with friends together and working in Germany. Tried maybe 10, 15 times I go, but police catch. They beat, why you come in the Croatia, why you go across border? You are illegal, you don't have documents, why you come and cross the border? That's why too much try, but inshallah one day be successfully, no problem.
Zafar hopes to find work in Germany. It was a daily struggle for survival in his hometown of Karachi, Pakistan. Life here in the forest is hard, says Zafar, but still better than in the Lipa refugee camp an hour's drive to the south, where he previously stayed. The Lipa camp has been in the international headlines for weeks, first for being cleared out, and then because it burned down. These bunk beds are a lasting reminder. There are now new tents for the refugees and migrants, but many here say the accommodation is now worse than before.
This is a life for animals living place here. We are suffering here. That's why we doesn't gonna live here. This is a not suitable place for living during this season.
The Bosnian authorities have faced harsh criticism in the wake of these images. But in the nearby town of Bihać, the mayor, Shushkhat Faslić, places the blame on the Bosnian government and the EU.
Because the problem is in Bihać,
The European Union has spent so much money in Bosnia in migrant crisis, but Bihać has not received any euro. We have been dealing alone with our own money, with our own resources. European Union should treat migrant crisis as a European problem, as a global problem.
The Bosnian public is also growing increasingly wary of these migrants. Fierce protests caused this refugee shelter to close its doors a few months ago. The EU wants refugees to move back in here. A nightmare scenario, say residents, who have been protesting against it every day.
They said to us that we are racist. We are not racist. 3 years we're suffering and helping that people. They don't want to stay in Bosnia. They just want to go to the border in Europe. And dear Europe, open the border and take them.
But for many of the 8,000 or so refugees and migrants, the chance of being granted asylum in the EU and therefore being allowed to stay is very low, including for Pakistanis like Raheel Zafar. But that doesn't scare the 25-year-old, who has no desire to stay in Bosnia and no intention of returning to Pakistan.
This is not good. What are you doing there? No have work, no have nothing. Europe have everything. They give camp is good, every food is good, cloth is good, everything. We work there, no problem. That's why we want to go there,
As soon as it gets warmer, Raheel Zafar wants to make a new attempt to cross the border into Croatia. But for the time being, he has no choice but to stick it out here, in the mud, rain, and bitter cold.